name's Nathan Janitis. I'm a ham radio operator. Call sign KD2SUL. I'm going to be explaining to you about ham radio, what it's about, and I'm going to be showing you some features on this ham radio here, which is a Bofeng UV5R, one of the best radios you can buy as a starter, and it gets you on the air. Ham radio has been around for a very long time. It's been used for emergency purposes, hobbyists, and anything in between. They do contesting, they do all sorts of activities. The best part is it doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you've been a ham for 80 plus years. You can never do all of the activities or in one shot because of the fact being that there's always something new being brought about. I've been a ham radio operator since 2019. I started off with my technician license, and in 2021 I got my general license, which allows me to talk on HF frequencies, which allows you to speak all around the world from anywheres from New York all the way to Japan, sometimes even China and farther. People have talked on the International Space Station with just a little walkie-talkie like this, and other people have used so much as a piece of wire strung into an apple tree and talked all the way to Afghanistan from New York. And I just want to show you a little bit about how this radio works and what it can do. So this radio is set up for my local repeater, and it's got a frequency on the bottom, and on the top it's got a channel name. I've got the bottom set up for my frequency, but I can have that set up for the repeater name if I want to. So what it does is, a repeater is a relay system. It basically acts like a cell phone tower in a way without needing service. You press the button on this and it goes to that repeater.
Can you repeat that?
Which one? So this thing basically acts as a cell phone tower in a way. So it retransmits, a repeater retransmits its signal to get greater range from a walkie-talkie like this. Some repeaters are tied into the internet, which allows you to talk all over the world with internet. And then most repeaters, they just retransmit it with a antenna that's super high in the air and stuff. And it's a fantastic hobby. Whether you're a 7-year-old or whether you're a 50-year-old, it's for anybody and everybody. This radio right here is what I started off with. It's a Bofeng UV5R. You can get them on Amazon for as cheap as $25, and some of the higher end versions you can get them for $50 or $60. I just had a friend recently buy a pack of 14 of them for almost $400. And he uses them for all sorts of different things. Even though he's not a ham radio operator, he still uses them for listening to police and stuff, which you can do. I've talked on this thing on a repeater that's maybe 20 miles away from here, and spoken all the way to Tupper Lake, which is maybe in the neighborhood of 1,200 miles away from here. It's just a fantastic hobby, and it can be used when cell phone service goes down because it doesn't rely on coverage like that. I love the hobby so much that, basically I'd be willing to take it a step further and get my highest class ham radio license. So like I was saying before, when you press the button and let go of it, it keys up a repeater, and it allows you to talk to other people who are, whether you're 5 miles away or 20 miles away. Let's see if anybody's on. KD2SUL listening. Well, apparently nobody from the club is on there because that's my local club repeater, but normally if somebody else was on there, they would come back to me and we could have a conversation. To get a license for a ham radio, it's pretty simple for the most part. Basically, you get a manual. I used what they called a Gordon West manual. It gives you an explanation of ham radio. It's got 3 different chapters in there or something like that to intro before you get to the test part. It's got, an intro of ham radio, what it can be used for, stuff like that, and then it goes to an answer thing for the test. It's the exact same questions that are going to be on your test. it gives you the answer, and then it gives you the shortest explanation possible for why that's the answer so that you can learn as easy as possible. And it's basically an elementary school grade education type understanding, which I love a lot because it helped me with getting my technician and my general. And the final step for ham radio operators, which is the highest class license, is an amateur extra, which gives you every single privilege out there. Some ham radio operators have gone as far as getting their commercial radio license and being repairmen for radios on stuff such as cruisers and even military ships, and even working on commercial broadcast radio stations. So, as I was saying, this radio here is all you need to get started. The radio has many features. It's got a built-in flashlight. Got a built-in FM radio, which the stations aren't coming in too well right here. It's got memory channels and frequency mode, which allows you to program memories channels manually from the radio, or you can plug it into a computer and set it up to program it that way. Channel mode. Menu. It's got like 45 different features in there. You've got dual standby, which allows you to listen to 2 different frequencies at the exact same time. You got VHF and UHF bands. You got your tone mode, which I've never used that. I don't know a whole lot about that part because I don't need to. You can even change your color display. Mine's blue right now for standby, and it's orange for when I'm transmitting, so that you know when it's talking and when it's not. And I've got 127 different channels that I can program into here. I've just got it set up for my local stuff within a 25-50 mile radius. When you're programming these, you got to know a few different things. Like if I wanted to program my local repeater here, like I would type in the frequency, which it already is. I would go to number 13 here, which allows me to have a tone, which is like sort of like a privacy tone on those walkie-talkies you buy from the store. And then you would also need to have a frequency shift. Oh, hold on. Menu. Frequency shift, which is a plus or a negative. So there's a different frequency for transmitting versus what you're listening to, and that's what that is. And once you have all that, channel mode. Frequency channel mode. Yep. 6, so 5, 9. 5, 8, 5, 5, menu. Yeah, right. Well, this thing is being goofy right now, but I can listen to anything I need to locally, and that right there, the top one, that's a simplex frequency. It basically allows you to talk without a repeater. So if you wanted to talk to your buddy who lives, 5 blocks down the street, and you don't want to tie up a repeater where multiple people can talk at the same time, you can go to a simplex frequency, which is just direct radio to radio contact without a relay system. As I said before, there's so much you can do with it, and if there was people on the repeater today, I'd show you who I can talk to, because I've talked to people from anywhere from 500 feet away to 70 to 80 miles away. And just this past August, I talked to a guy in Germany from my local lighthouse, which was over 3,000 miles away, with using nothing more than a piece of wire and a base station. There's just so much you can do, and I really hope that you guys can get into it and like it as much as I have. There's not as many people on to there as there used to be. I think in the United States there's only in the neighborhood of 240,000 hams, if I remember correctly, and in the world I think there's a total of just under 1 million. So it's a dying hobby, they say, but there's still lots of people out there. I remember being told a story of some people that were willing to go out to Colorado, I believe it was, when cell towers went down and people needed to contact their families to let them know that they were safe. Ham radio operators actually went out there. They took what they call mesh routers, which is a commercial internet router, used ham radio frequencies and was able to connect to the internet and send emails and sometimes even talk to people directly from those emails, like you would on a cell phone for voice chat or something like that, and let the families know that they were safe. I mean, there's so much you can do, and it all started because somebody decided to, experiment with radio frequencies. And without those radio frequencies, nobody would have cell phones like we do today. And I really hope that it can get back into it, people in school and, even young folks, because we don't have enough young folks into it anymore. And I know I'm rambling on about it, but it's just something that I'm passionate about, and it's something that I enjoy a lot of. I want you guys to know that we'll be uploading videos once a week. Please leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, and if you have any questions or comments, just put them in there. We'll answer them as much as we can in future videos. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.